Welcome back. Here with us on Urban Debate on Mirror Now. It has been an action-packed day today with Congress MP Rahul Gandhi being questioned by the Enforcement Directorate in the National Herald case. Questioning started at 11 in the morning and it is still going on. Of course, he took a lunch break in between. Protests continue across the states against the ED summons that were issued to Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi. Delhi, Bengaluru, Jammu, Guwahati, Patna, Chennai, Lucknow, Hyderabad, Mumbai, Srinagar, Shimla and Nagpur. Widespread protests are continuing across these cities across the country. Several prominent leaders including Rajya Sabha MP K.C. Venugopal, Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel and leader of Congress in Lok Sabha, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, were among those who were detained by Delhi police when they were on their way to join the protest called by the Congress party. Congress party has claimed that the charges against its leaders in the case are baseless and have accused the Modi government, in fact, of political vendetta. Ruling BJP has criticized Congress and accused it of celebrating corruption. ED probe against Gandhi's pertains to alleged financial irregularities in the party promoted Young Indian that owned the National Herald newspaper. Gandhis are being grilled about incorporation of a Young Indian company, the operations of the National Herald and the fund transfer within the news media establishment. And before we get you up to speed with what is happening right now, let's listen in to how the political parties reacted over this.
My presence is a protest. Where is the question of permission? The fact that I'm speaking to you, the fact that I'm standing here is protest by itself. Protest is not just, sloganeering anything. The fact that we are all here, the fact that we are all physically here, is protest by itself. There is nothing to hide, there's nothing to do. That's not the point. The point is that this agency is consistently being used to harass political opponents. And as I told you, there's nobody better than me to state this.
So it's sad to see one of the oldest parties coming to the streets and just to save one family or certain people of a political party. Do you think there should be a separate law for them? Do they hold some position in the society or in the country where there should be a separate law for them? If anyone who's facing the corruption charges, they have to go through some procedures. And the investigative agencies have got some rights to look into the details, call the people for their statements. And there's nothing wrong in that. Why is Congress protesting? They are not protesting to save the constitution or the democracy. They are protesting to save one family and their corrupt practices or their property of 2,000 crore rupees plus.
ये मैसेज है पूरे कंट्री में लोगों की क्या भावना है, वो मैसेज है एनडीए गवर्नमेंट के नेताओं को, प्रधानमंत्री जी को, गृह मंत्री जी को, जो जुल्म ढाए जा रहे हैं देश भर के अंदर, इनकम टैक्स, ईडी सीबीआई के। तो राहुल गांधी और सोनिया गांधी को क्या तुक्का देने का ईडी के नोटिस, उसके माध्यम से आज पूरे देश के लोगों की भावनाओं को भी पकड़ किया जा रहा है। दिल्ली के अंदर हर जिले में आंदोलन हो रहे हैं, बता रहे हैं कि ये तरीका गलत है, आपका इस प्रकार के जुल्म करने का तरीका गलत है। हम मांग करते प्रधानमंत्री जी से, आप देशवासियों को संबोधित करो, शांति सद्भाव भाईचारा रहना चाहिए।
This is not a drive to protect democracy. This intended drive is to protect 2,000 crores of the Gandhi family.
Trying to take out a Shanti march so that our voice can be heard. Government agencies are being misused and they're targeting the leaders of the opposition party, which is inappropriate. And today also our permission was denied. We were not looking to have a speech or to create any problem for anyone, just a Gandhian way of protesting, which is within our rights. That also they have not allowed us to do. But we'll continue to fight.
जब आप एक सांसद हो, ईडी ने आपको बुलाया है, आप एकदम नामांकन फिलअप करने का समय जैसे आप लोगों को, समर्थकों को लेके जाते हैं, अगर ऐसे आप ईडी ऑफिस में जाते हैं, साथ में आप कोई राज्य का मुख्यमंत्री को लेके जाते हैं, सांसद को लेके जाते हैं, मतलब क्या है, आप ईडी को डरवाना चाहते हैं कि ईडी आपका पॉपुलैरिटी से, सो कॉल पॉपुलैरिटी से डर जाए और ईडी आपका खिलाफ कार्यवाही ना करे। गुनाहगार है तो आपका पनिशमेंट होगा। हाँ, अगर आप इनोसेंट हैं आपका कुछ नहीं होगा। ये आज नया भारत का यही नया रूल है।
ये कितनी ही ताकत लगा लें, कितनी ही शक्ति लगा लें, मगर कांग्रेस को संघर्ष से रोक नहीं सकते हैं। एक अन्यायपूर्ण व्यवस्था के खिलाफ कांग्रेस संघर्ष करेगी। कांग्रेस का हर सिपाही देश के कोने कोने में संघर्ष करेगा। हमारे नेता राहुल गांधी जी इस व्यवस्था को चुनौती दे रहे हैं। ये उनकी आवाज को दबाना चाहते हैं। यदि कांग्रेस अपने नेता के ऊपर अन्याय के खिलाफ नहीं लड़ सकती है, जब यदि अन्यायपूर्ण व्यवस्था के खिलाफ हम संघर्ष नहीं कर सकते हैं, तो देश के आम जन के ऊपर जो अन्याय हो रहा है उसके खिलाफ कैसे लड़ेंगे?
जो जेल से बेल पर हैं, उन्होंने घोषणा की है कि आओ दिल्ली को घेरो, क्योंकि हमारा भ्रष्टाचार पकड़ा गया है। एक इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग एजेंसी पर दबाव डालने के लिए कांग्रेस शासित राज्यों के वरिष्ठ नेताओं को विशेष आमंत्रित किया गया है।
Let's now go across to my colleague Ranjita, who's been tracking the story very, very closely, who's joining us live on the broadcast this evening. Ranjita, good evening. 11 बजे के आसपास क्वेश्चनिंग शुरू हुई थी एनफोर्समेंट डायरेक्टरेट के ऑफिशियल्स के द्वारा। अभी कितनी देर और ये जो क्वेश्चनिंग है इस पूरे मामले में चलने वाली है? अभी क्या अपडेट आप दे सकते हैं और क्या हो रहा है दिल्ली की सड़कों पर?
जो भी कर लो हम तो बढ़ते जाएंगे, जिंदाबाद जिंदाबाद राहुल गांधी जिंदाबाद।
रंजीता, मैं आपसे ये समझने की कोशिश कर रही हूँ कितनी देर और क्वेश्चनिंग है चलेगी राहुल गांधी की एनफोर्समेंट डायरेक्टरेट के ऑफिशियल्स के द्वारा, और अभी दिल्ली की सड़कों पर क्या प्रोटेस्ट जारी है कांग्रेस पार्टी के कार्यकर्ताओं के द्वारा?
देखिए, राहुल गांधी से ईडी की पूछताछ अभी भी चल रही है। अभी भी राहुल गांधी ईडी मुख्यालय में ही, बताया ये जा रहा है सूत्रों के हवाले से कि राहुल गांधी 9 बजे तक वहां से निकलकर सीधे कांग्रेस मुख्यालय पहुंचेंगे। और राहुल गांधी के इंतजार में आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ कांग्रेस के नेता और कार्यकर्ता इस तरह का माहौल बनाकर रखा हुआ है। उन्होंने यहाँ देशभक्ति गीत जो है वो सुनाया जा रहा है। कांग्रेस के कार्यकर्ता राहुल गांधी के लिए नारेबाजी कर रहे हैं और साफ तौर पर आज सुबह से ही जो नेताओं का संदेश था राहुल गांधी के लिए वो ये कि नेशनल हेराल्ड मामला भले ही पुराना हो, लेकिन इस पूरे मामले को लेकर जिस तरह से सोनिया गांधी और राहुल गांधी को सम्मन दिया गया और राहुल गांधी आज ईडी दफ्तर पहुंचे, पूरा कांग्रेस का जो कुनबा है वो सड़क पर नजर आया। 2 मुख्यमंत्री, वर्किंग कमेटी के सदस्य, सांसद, अलग अलग राज्यों से बड़े चेहरे, विधायक, मंत्री, तमाम जो नेता है वो आज दिल्ली की सड़कों पे दिखे। अलग अलग जगहों पर उनकी गिरफ्तारी हुई। कई नेताओं का ये भी आरोप था, जिस तरह से संगठन महासचिव केसी वेणुगोपाल के साथ दिल्ली प्रशासन ने किया, उसके खिलाफ कांग्रेस पार्टी ने बयान भी जारी किए हैं। लेकिन ये कहीं ना कहीं पूरी तरह से एक ये माहौल बनाने की कोशिश कांग्रेस की रही कि किस तरह से यहाँ दिल्ली प्रशासन जो है वो कांग्रेस के नेताओं के साथ दुर्व्यवहार कर रहा था और इस पूरे मामले को एक फर्जी मामला कांग्रेस के नेताओं का है। उनका साफ तौर पर कहना है कि ईडी जिस तरह से कार्रवाई कर रही है वो केंद्र सरकार के इशारे पर किया जा रहा है।
जी रंजीता, थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर द मोमेंट फॉर जॉइनिंग अस विद ऑल ऑफ दोज डिटेल्स। हम फिर से लौटेंगे आपके पास इस पर और ज्यादा जानकारी के लिए। तो अभी भी सवाल पूछे जा रहे हैं। 9 बजे के आसपास आप हमें बता रहे हैं कि शायद ये राहुल गांधी जो हैं ईडी दफ्तर से बाहर निकलेंगे। लेट मी गो अक्रॉस टू माय कॉलीग भवतोष एज वेल फॉर मोर ऑन दिस। भवतोष, व्हाट इज इट दैट सोर्सेज विद इन एनफोर्समेंट डायरेक्टरेट आर टेलिंग यू? हैज राहुल गांधी कोऑपरेटेड विद द ईडी ऑफिशियल्स टुडे? व्हाट वाज द लाइन ऑफ questioning really?
As far as questioning is concerned, they have said that it's a case that goes back to at least a decade. So one can expect more summons for Rahul Gandhi. Remember, it's a case in which the major investigation has been done by the Income Tax Department. Unlike the other cases in which Gandhi family has been accused of corruption, this entire case revolves around India, and it's a case in which Associate General's property or a loan was in fact written off by the Congress party for just paltry sum of 51 lakh rupees. Now, this loan was in fact given by a Kolkata-based shell company, and the money was in fact given as soon as Young India was formed. The trustees of Young India include Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, and also Oscar Fernandez and Motilal Vora. The claim of Gandhi family that Associate General had in fact given a VRS of 91 crore rupees to journalists is something which is very hard to digest, because Associate General ceased publishing National Herald in 2008 itself and hardly had any staff. Remember, Associate General had some big prime properties across the country, because it's a newspaper, it's a legacy newspaper which was in fact established by Nehru's Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru in 1937. The very fact that Young India in fact got over this Associate General for just 51 lakh rupees by taking over 9 crore of shares for an equity shares of 9 crore rupees, 9 crore shares for just 10 rupee per equity. Now, the persons who in fact first raised a red flag was Shanti Bhushan, former law minister, and also other persons who in fact were the ones who in fact question how this can happen. Now, private complaint obviously was filed by Subramanian Swamy, and subsequently the Income Tax Department had questioned how can Rahul Gandhi for year 2010 and 2011 say his income is just 68 lakh rupees, where as a director his income could have been as high as 154 crore rupees. At various point of time, Gandhis had in fact gone to the Delhi High Court and Supreme Court,
Right.
but both the High Court as well as Supreme Court had said that you go back to Income Tax Appellate Tribunal. Heena, but it was the order of March that was given by the ITAT that was virtually a shot in the arm for the Enforcement Directorate that led to these chain of events where Rahul Gandhi is presently being questioned here at ED headquarters, and it could be possible that he will be soon allowed to go out of the headquarters and again summoned.
All right. Thank you very much, Bhavatosh, for joining us and for bringing us up to speed with the latest as far as this case is concerned. Let me now go across to my guest joining us on Urban Debate this evening. We have Priyanka Tibrewal, BJP spokesperson, live with us. Advocate Aadil Singh Boparai, Congress spokesperson, also joining us on the broadcast. Good evening to both of you. Thank you for joining us here on Urban Debate on Mirror Now this evening. Advocate Aadil Singh, I want to begin the discussion with you. Agencies have the right to call people for investigation. The question is, why call everything political vendetta?
Heena, it's not just political vendetta, it's a political witch hunt. This is misuse of state agencies. And as a political party, it is our right to protest and protest peacefully. And the way the Delhi police has manhandled senior leaders, and some of whom were senior citizens, is unbecoming. The police has a duty to uphold the law. The police does not have a duty to work at the whim and caprice of the ruling dispensation. But coming to the issue at hand, and it's important to clear the dust here, what is Young Indian? Young Indian is a Section 25 not-for-profit company, which means that no shareholder, no member of the managing committee can withdraw any income, profits, dividends, or financial interest. So I think this is extremely important to bear in mind, that there has been no financial benefit in the present case, number one. Number two, the assets continue to remain with AJL. So therefore, there is no transfer of title or no transfer of immovable property. So therefore, if there is no transfer of title, no transfer of money, or no transfer of any property or value, how does money laundering come into the picture? There can only be money laundering if there is money. If there is no sale, if there is no transaction, then how does the government of the day get money laundering? Point number two. Point number three, since much has been said about this company, Dotex, by the minister, let me tell her that Dotex gave a loan at 14% interest to Young Indian through banking channels, and Young Indian through banking channels returned that money royalty. So where is the illegality? Number four, the Election Commission of India has categorically said that there is no prohibition under law, there is no infraction under law for a political company, for a political party to give loan to a company. Now, therefore, the 90 crore rupee loan by the Congress party to Associate Journal, which ran National Herald, which is intrinsically connected with the Congress party, is absolutely legitimate. So therefore, the BJP, and this is consistent over the past 8 years, misuse of state agencies. And this is unfortunate because they forget the shoe can be on the other foot. I repeat, the shoe can be on the other foot and the shoe will be on the other. So therefore, they must remember that such misuse.
Priyanka, how will you like to respond to what Aadil has said? It is political witch hunt. And the case has been going on for quite some time. If indeed there is something against the Gandhis, the people who have been summoned here specifically, why nothing has been done so far? How will you like to respond?
I'll respond to this, but let me just correct you. Today I'm sitting with your channel as an advocate and not a spokesperson of BJP. But yes, I would like to respond to this, that whatever claims they have given of this political vendetta is palpably absurd and weird, and also it's an obnoxious behavior which we have seen by Rahul Gandhi today when he visited the ED's office. It just reminded me of a child going school who goes to the school for the first day. He wants everybody in the family should accompany him to the school. That is what we have seen today. And similar scenes we had also witnessed in West Bengal when the CBI was trying to investigate the police commissioner Rajiv Kumar. The CM herself went and sat outside the house. So, but apart from that, whatever duration he's speaking about, that, it's 8 years. And then, yes, I also heard the chief minister of AAP, when the person from his party was arrested by the ED, he had said similar things, that as if he knew that whatever was going on, he knew whatever was there in the documents and everything, was very much clear to him. But things do not work as per our whims and fancies. When the matter is being investigated, it is upon the investigation agencies to take out what are the facts which they have. And by saying that, 8 years, nothing has come out. So let me also remind him that misappropriation of assets, there was a case of Jayalalitha. So this case started sometimes in the year 91, 96. And the final verdict came out sometimes in 2000 something. And the people were convicted also. I think Sashikala and there was another one who was convicted along with them. So law will take its own course. It is not just because he is Mr. Rahul Gandhi, so everything has to go fast according to their whims. No, it will not happen as such. Whatever is there in the law will take its own course. And now I'll tell you that today, whatever questions the ED had to ask them, they said that, why waste 4 hours of Rahul Gandhi? Why didn't the advocate go? They could have questioned the advocate. No, sir. Rahul Gandhi is like any other citizen of this country. If their onus is upon you to prove whether you are guilty or not, whether you are innocent or not. So why would your advocate go and answer? Because if any other citizen of the country can be called by the ED, Rahul Gandhi can also be called. Sonia Gandhi can also be called. Why their 38% sharing?
But
and
Ms.
how
Priyanka
it came upon
Tibrewal,
them?
Another charge is that if a leader from the opposition joins the BJP, then all these charges go away. And there is a long list of such leaders as well who were earlier being questioned by various investigative agencies when they were not in the Bharatiya Janata Party. The moment they joined Bharatiya Janata Party, sab paap dhul jate hain. How will you like to respond?
I like to respond on this also, that जिनको भी ये तकलीफ होती है, इस कंट्री में कोर्ट्स हैं, कोर्ट ऑफ लॉ है, आप वहां जाकर के उनके अगेंस्ट में अपील करिए कि इनका नाम इस जगह में था, मेरे पास ये सबूत है इनके अगेंस्ट में, आई हैव प्रूफ्स टू शो कि इनके अगेंस्ट में ये सब कुछ है या मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग है या व्हाटएवर इट इज. सी इन द पास्ट आल्सो, जैसे कि मैंने अभी इनका नाम लिया, आपको जो आप हमारे चीफ मिनिस्टर है दिल्ली के, आपके, उन्होंने कह दिया था कि कुछ भी नहीं है, मुझे सब मालूम है, as if he knew the entire history, but whatever is there in the document that the agencies would know, how would he know?
Aadil Singh, will you like to respond? Why call everything political witch hunt or political vendetta? If indeed what you have told us is correct, then there's nothing to fear really, because it's just a summon. He's just being questioned. He can say that whatever you are asking is incorrect, whatever your charge is incorrect, and come out.
Well, I was expecting some sound arguments from the other side, but be that as it may. I never said 8 years. Let them investigate. We're not scared. Let them go back to 80 years, 100 years, or even 2 centuries. We're not scared. You can continue to investigate. I'm on the larger point here about misuse of state agencies. And I think it's beyond any pale of doubt that agencies are misused. The ED, the CBI, and the other agencies have become an extension of the BJP. But be that as it may, let's talk about specifics here. Since the BJP spokesperson happens to be a lawyer, can a Section 25 company confer any benefit on a shareholder? Question number one. So therefore, if a Section 25 company cannot confer any benefit to a shareholder or a member of the managing committee, where does this false bogey or notion of money laundering come in? Number one. Number two, the assets of AGL remain with AGL. So therefore, where is this transfer of immovable property which warrants an ED investigation? Number three, for the ED to come in, for the PMLA to kick in, there has to be money laundering. And I say this conjunctively, money laundering. When there is no transfer of title, when there is no sale of property, when there is no receipt of revenue, income, dividend, profit, which means there is no money.
I'll get Ms. Priyanka Tripurwal to respond to that. But Mr. Aadil Singh, you know, courts only had told them to go back to Income Tax Appellate Tribunal. Courts could have easily dismissed the entire case.
I'm glad. So Heena, the ED looks into the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. The Income Tax looks into the Income Tax Act. What the ED is alleging is money laundering. What the IT is looking into is income tax. And income tax is civil penalty. PMLA is criminal penalty. So coming to my principal point, if there is no money, if there is no transfer, if there is no receipt of remuneration, if it is a Section 25 company, where does laundering come in? For laundering to come in, there has to be money in my hands. If
Ms. Priyanka Tripurwal, please respond.
First, you must have money in your hands to launder.
I can't launder my intentions. My intentions are not like Congress because they want to go in for a media trial since they do not have answers. So there are specific questions which have been put up by the ED today, like when there was a loan of 9 crore 90 lakhs on AGL, on whose recommendation such loans were waived off. There was specific question regarding the 38% shareholding of both Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi, and they have been asked to produce papers. There was specific question that why did he take the share on his name when Congress party had paid 90 crores to the company? Did he hold meetings with the old shareholders? So there are many questions which have been asked and he has to give an answer there. And I will not take it as a media trial like my friend Mr. Aadil is trying to do. If he has answers to these questions, he should better tell his client Rahul Gandhi and he should prepare him for the next meeting.
Mr. Aadil wants to respond. Yes, go ahead.
The Congress party's principal charge was that this is political vendetta. I, as a Congress spokesperson, don't know what questions were asked from Rahul Gandhi. How does the BJP spokesperson know what questions were asked by the ED from Rahul Gandhi?
Because
is it that
now
Mr. Bipal had sent the questions?
You are not.
Hear me out, madam. Hear me out. Hear me out. You are, madam. Hear me out. Please hear me out. Let's have a civil.
I'll give you more questions which were asked because you are not prepared. I am.
Of course, you have the questions because the BJP has sent the questions. This proves my point. QED. This proves my hypothesis. We don't know what questions to ask from Rahul Gandhi, but
you should do your homework before coming on the media channel. Now I tell you, since morning it is going on multiple channels.
Okay, let her respond now.
It is going on
Adil, let Priyanka respond now. I have very little time left on the debate. Let Priyanka respond now.
Also, I will give him the source of these questions, TV9. And since morning these questions are going on in media, but since he was more busy trying to do a media trial, he didn't follow the media. So these questions are everywhere in the media. Please do your homework before you come.
Okay, Adil,
do your homework before you come. I told you that these questions are going in the media since morning, so you should be prepared before you come.
Okay, one at a time. Let's have a civil debate. One second, Priyanka, one second. Adil, yes, please go ahead. Let's have a civil debate. It's an important issue that we are discussing. Yes, Adil, go ahead.
Madam, please, Priyanka ji, don't get anxious here. An investigating agency carries out investigation discreetly, and the questions are either known to the investigating officer, who is the IO, the JD, the AD, the DD, or they are known to the person who's being interrogated. I have not known in my 8-9 years of practice where investigating agencies pushed out a press statement saying these are the questions asked to X, Y, and Z. I don't know these questions. My General Secretary.
Well, so far, let me make it very clear for our viewers, even we do not have any list of questions. Otherwise, even we would have been playing those questions as to this was the line of questioning as far as ED today is concerned, because the questioning is still going on.
Many more questions which I can put up. Now I'll tell you now. Be patient and listen to this. No, be patient. We all know what is the National Herald case all about in the 8-9 years. So we all, even when I say we, I am saying the media as well, who's been showing such questions since morning. Now this media also knows that what will be the questions which will be asked. Probable questions as to how many directors were there in the company. When did you take up as a director? How many shareholders were there? What were your shareholdings?
Well, that's...
So now that is what I'm saying. Now he got so anxious over the... He got so anxious.
We are still waiting. I don't know where you are getting those questions from, Priyanka, but we are still waiting to hear from the Enforcement Directorate as to what exactly was the line of questioning. Of course, a lot of channels are guessing right now what the line of possible line of questioning could be. Okay, Aadil, last 10 seconds. Last 10 seconds.
Oh, I am telling you the source. Go and watch TV9 tonight. You'll come to know. Go and watch TV9 tonight. These questions were there on TV9, and these are some questions with a person with sense.
Okay, so TV9 you're saying is your source of information.
TV9 and Priyanka ji.
Okay, I'll have to wind up the debate here. Thank you very much, both of you. We are still waiting. Okay, I'll have to wind up this debate now. We'll have to slip into a very, very short break. Viewers, we are yet to get details about the questioning that is still going on as we speak. Rahul Gandhi still is at the ED office in the national capital. Questioning began at around 11 a.m. this morning. It's still continuing. Bhavatosh and Ranjita were telling us that it is likely to be over by around 9 p.m. in just a few minutes from now, hopefully. And then we'll keep you ahead on this big developing story from the national capital. Thank you very much, Priyanka, as well as Aadil. Appreciate both of you for joining us here on Urban Debate on Mirror Now this evening. Heading into a very, very short break. Don't go anywhere. Griha joins you next with all the top stories of the day. Stay with us.